Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the LA Chargers, but more specifically, Chargers running back Austin Ekeler and going over whether or not I think Austin Ekeler can have a breakout year in the 2021 season. But before getting to the topic, question for those of you viewing, comment down below, where do you rank Austin Ekeler amongst receiving backs? We know he's not Derrick Henry when it comes to running the football. When it comes to catching the football, though, he's up there with anyone, whether it be McCaffrey or Kamara. I want to hear where you guys rank him. We think he's the best, second best, third best, fourth best, whatever it is. Comment down below and I'll kind of give my answer at the end. Getting straight into it though, I kind of want to make clear what I'm defining breakout is. Austin Ekeler, a guy that's never rushed for over 600 rushing yards, for me to say he's going to rush 2,000 like Derrick Henry, that's breakout, or he's not a breakout. That's a little extreme. But for him to push 1,000 yards, or for him to have a career high in rushing yards, that's kind of what I'm saying in breakout. Just being able to start and play all 16, 17 games now is really what I'm just defining as breakout year. Breakout year, I guess in simple terms, I would just call his best year yet. Looking at Austin Ekeler, though, like I said, he averages 4.7 yards a carry, and you give him 15 to 20 carries every single game, which I don't know if that's how the Chargers offense is going to run, but 15 carries a game, I don't think that's way too much. 4.7 yards a carry, 17 games, that's well over 1,000 yards. I think that's actually achievable for Austin Ekeler. Now, whether they give him that type of role, because over Austin Ekeler's career, the reason he's never gotten to over even 600 yards, it's always been him and Melvin Gordon are always splitting carries, or he's banged up, or they're giving Justin Jackson a run, or Joshua Kelly a run, or Kellen Balaj a run, or whoever it is a run. He's getting split carries with Austin Ekeler. And I felt like last year he finally got, the biggest starting job amongst running backs, yet he was banged up. So this year, though, I do think if he could play all 17 games, even theoretically if he misses one and plays 16, just like as if he would in a regular season, he could get actually 1,000 plus yards if they give him right around 15 carries a game. That's not too much. It might be in a very quarterback-centric offense. I'm not complaining. If Justin Herbert's putting up MVP numbers, I'm not going to be like, oh, give the ball to Ekeler. We want the exact opposite of Anthony Lynn of running the ball too much. But I'm just on a video centered around Austin Ekeler. I'm just looking at the possibilities. And I know, like I said in the beginning and referring to the question, he's no Derrick Henry, power back, Nick Chubb type of runner. He's more of a receiving back. He's a finesse player like a McCaffrey, like a Kamara. He's not going to have the prettiest rushing yards, but he's going to make you feel his yak, yards after catch, whether he's running it or catching it. Once he breaks, out of the pocket, and if he could get into open field or just get to one-on-one defenders, he can win a lot of matchups with his, elusiveness, with his jukes, his agility, whatever you want to call it. I do think this will be his best year yet for a number of reasons. A, he's healthy. That's reason number one. Number two, he is the starting guy. Justin Jackson will still be in rotation along with Joshua Kelly in the 6th-round rookie Singletary, but Austin Ekeler is the guy going in. So again, A, he's healthy. B, he is the number one role. C, there's going to be 17 games. There's going to be an extra game for him to get extra numbers, an extra game to rest, whatever you want to call it. If he does miss one, he still would have 16 as a regular. And D, coaching staff is an upgrade in Brandon Staley, even though that might actually take the ball out of his hands because we know Anthony Lynn will run the ball. But the biggest one, E, the fifth reason, is the improvement of the offensive line. Getting Corey Linsley a captain, this offensive line, the best center in the league, arguably, that's going to make the biggest difference. He's a guy that can really open the gas for the run game. Your interior lineman, while, I would say the tackles are better than the guards. And Rashawn Slater and Brian Bulaga, I would take them probably over Matt Filer and Oday Ibushi. But when you got your best lineman in the center position to help out that interior line, to kind of create some gaps, create some holes, create some schemes where Austin Ekeler can fit, he is, I do think, going to have his best year yet, which you could consider a breakout year per se. Either way, I like the Chargers a lot this year, whether it be through Ekeler, whether it be through Herbert, whether it be through rookie Singletary, whether it be through rookie Josh Palmer. I don't care who it is. I think someone is going to really, put their name on the map. Whether it be Ekeler finally, this cat's a top 10 running back. Whether it be Herbert, this cat's an MVP candidate. Whether it be Jalen Guyton, this guy was a steal. He is a breakout player. Josh Palmer, this guy is a steal. He's a great diamond in the rough in the 3rd round. Whoever it is, I think there is a Chargers player that's going to help put their name on the map this year with the brand new Brandon Staley offense and defense, more so defense. Joe Lombardi's kind of going to take over the offense for the most part. But I just think with more familiarity, more experience, finally this is feeling like this is his role, as in I'm talking about Austin Ekeler. He's healthy. He's ready to go. He's got the protection. He's got the schemes. He's got the offense. He's got the confidence. They're just ready. I just don't see how this is not his best year yet, pending any big injury or pending any, big signing. I doubt the Chargers are in the trading market, but if all of a sudden they got a Derrick Henry, I'm getting really speculative here. But again, any just game-changing move or injury, that I do think this will be his best year. Yep, and I do think we could see that for a lot of players. I think we could see Joey Bosa's best year, Derwin James' best year, and the entire defense best year is possible when you got Brandon Staley's scheme going in there. Derwin James, I don't want to say his best year is hard to top. His best year was his rookie year. As long as he could just really match that, people are going to think that's his best year because it's been so long. Joey Bosa, 12.5 sacks. I think that's his career high off the top of my head. It's either 12 or 12.5, I believe. But off the top of my head, I think he could set that record with hopefully Brandon Staley getting them some backup, whether it be Uchenna Nwosu stepping up, Jerry Tillery stepping up, Chris Rump stepping up, Linval Joseph, Kenneth Murray. I don't care who it is. But if someone can step up and take the pressure off of Joey Bosa, I always bring up the analogy. Joey Bosa's the Batman of that front four. Who's going to be, or the front seven, whatever, Brandon Staley's a 3-4 defense, so he's the Batman of that front seven. Who's going to be his Robin to take the pressure off him? He doesn't got to match his skill and talent, but just be a sidekick to take the pressure off him. And like I said, Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr., Chris Harris Jr., Michael Davis, Nasir Adderley. I like Brandon Staley to help out this defense a lot, and he's going to have some help on offense. He used to be a former quarterback. Herbert's going to up everyone's game, Ekeler including, offensive line. We could see the whole offense be a little rusty in the beginning. Not to say they don't have the talent or the skill, but just the growing pains of not having chemistry together, not having experience together. It could affect the passing game, not having the lockdown fortress for Herbert. It could affect the run game, not having the exact gaps, the exact openings that they're planning for, just due to this offensive line being completely rebuilt. Brian Bulaga, Matt Filer, Corey Linsley, Oday Abushi, Rashawn Slater, the list. In the receiving core as well, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, Jalen Guyton, Tyron Johnson, Jared Cook, Donald Palmer, Trey McKitty, I think, is the tight end they picked up in the 3rd round. It's a very good team, and it's lots of talent, lots of raw skill, but it's a hurry up and wait thing. This is a patience thing. Overall, I think all these factors will contribute together and play along one side of another and indirectly help one each other out, like Austin Ekeler. You might be wondering, why am I talking about the defenses? It's an Austin Ekeler video. Well, if the defense can help control the pace of the game, you might want to take the ball out of Herbert's hand. You're up 2 scores. It's the 4th quarter. You might want to run the clock out, and you got the running back to do it. You got the offensive line to allow him to get the first downs. He's on a career season where he's going to get 1,000+ yards, and you just feel like you got the game in the bag. That's why I think the defense in those small indirect places, like the defense controlling the pace of the game, can help Ekeler in total as a whole, whatever you want to call it. I got faith in this team this year, but I really do have faith in Ekeler to have, again, breakout year is what I'm labeling it for this video, but just really, his career year, best year yet for Ekeler. I'm not saying he's going to rush for 1,500 yards, but in 17 games, if he could get the starting role, 15 carries a game, I could see not really another running back taking away carries from him, like a Joshua Kelly or Justin Jackson or Singletree, but more so this being the Joe Lombardi offense that has an Alvin Kamara, that used to have an Alvin Kamara that's a great receiving back. I think Ekeler would take away his own carries and turn them into passes or receptions, whatever you want to call it, just because that's how the Joe Lombardi offense is, and we know how good of a receiving back Austin Ekeler is. I think that would be the only really thing that's cutting into his actual 15 to 20 carries a game, if that's what they're aiming for, is that those carries turn into receptions for him, which again is a good problem to have and can help his career highs. But when it comes to running the ball, I still think he'll get that 600 mark, and I think he has a chance. The chance, not saying you will, but the chance to push for 1,000, especially with the 17th game. You guys tell me, though. I always want to hear your opinions, your comments, your takes, whatever it is. I love replying to you guys down in the comments down below. And referring back to question 8, where do I think he is amongst receiving backs? It's hard for me to determine because I don't have all the receiving backs off the top of my head. I'd say top 3 off the top of my head. Him, McCaffrey, Kamara, Ekeler. I haven't really, sat down and ranked them on just their receiving skills. But I'm going to say top 3 just because I haven't ranked him yet. I think he has the potential to be 1. I'm just not giving it to him because I haven't sat down and looked at it, like I said. And I'm sure there's some other good receiving back. I'm trying to think about the top of my head, but I just can't think of it. If you guys can think of another good one that I just can't get my mind to, let me know down in the comments. As always, I can't think of one, but those 3 are the top 3 that are coming to mind for me. As always, and of course, guys, Antonio Gibson's actually a good one that's up and coming in my opinion. But as always, of course, thank you for watching. 2 Minute Warning.